Okay. Call the board to order at
9:39.
9:39. Okay. This meeting is being recorded by the Board of Assessors. If any other persons present are doing the same, you must notify the chair at this time. The chair and the board reserves the right to remove or have removed any persons per MGL. So here we are, call to order and roll call of members. Who's here? And Susan's a guest, and so is Stephanie. Okay, and see, public comment. No discussion or comments will be entertained unless requested upon by the chair or the board or committee. Speaking time is 3 minutes for each person. Member of public must state their name and address or precinct.
I'm going to make a motion to open public comment.
Second.
All in
Okay,
favor?
there we go.
Aye.
All right. And review and approval of previous minute.
Motion to approve the previous minutes.
I will second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there any member of the public that would like to make a statement at this time?
Okay. Oh, Stephanie. Oh, or.
Good morning,
Hey,
Good morning.
Stephanie.
Stephanie Duclos, 166 Chapman Street. I was just going over all of the website actually because I shared it on Everything Greenfield, so that there've been a lot of questions about the way that the taxes have gone up when it was advertised that the rate had gone down, and I know that a lot of people get confused about that. If in your meeting, do you explain the abatement process to people? If so, I would love to be able to clip some of that in order to share it with people on how they can get an abatement if they believe they've been unfairly valued. I know that the rates have adjusted, but I personally also had an increase in an assessment. So maybe a small little, how do we come and we get an abatement? Well, what the process is. That would be awesome. Thank you.
Sure, and the Everything Greenfield site, is that something we ought to be monitoring or participating in?
It's on Facebook.
No, it's on
No, it's on
Facebook, but
Facebook.
it does have about 22,000 people who have who can see that. But I do share most of what you guys do online anyway, so
Okay.
hopefully it will be helpful to help people understand, the process, and also how they can come and get an abatement if they feel that one is necessary. I did post this morning about double checking and clicking on the website to verify the information on their property cards before they come to you. So if there's any other tips that maybe I could share on the platforms that I do have, that would be helpful to you, to get the public to kind of understand the process instead of everybody coming in with pitchforks and going, what the hell happened?
But
That
the answer to
thank you.
your question, Jim, is yes. Yes, it would be awesome.
And so you're looking for an explanation right now? Or-
At some point in time, I can always do a little video clip of whatever it is, how
about
you
on the
explain it. I
15th?
don't want you to get off track on your agenda because I know you've got tons of stuff to do. So
Well, it is-
I will keep and watch, and then I'll rewatch and then clip so that if anybody has any questions, at some point in time, we can address it and post it on Facebook. Thanks.
You may want to alert people to our accessories meeting before the next council meeting
On the
on
15th.
the 15th.
And if we did a clip like that, we'd probably want to coordinate with Matt.
Yeah.
So that's a
Oh,
week from
No, this
tomorrow.
would be on my own informational stuff. I mean, you can do obviously
Oh, I
that.
see.
I do have a huge platform on social media, but if I accidentally shared the wrong link because I didn't get the link until I got the Gmail from Chuck. So I did this morning go back and edit that post to provide the link for people to zoom in if they wanted to, but also the link to the meeting.
But the
For the
instruction,
future.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
She's done, I think.
Yeah, so it,
But the instructions for abatements and exemptions, is that on the website? I haven't checked.
I'm pretty sure that we have the forms and we have the valuation 101 or whatever that is.
Yeah,
But now is the time, we have only 30 days from January 1st to February 2nd to apply for an abatement if you feel that your value is incorrect. And so I would start, yes, by knowing about your property record card, and that's something that I will get to right now. The ones that we have on the site aren't current. I do have current ones that I'm trying to get uploaded. We did upload them, and then the results of the PDFs were incorrect and they didn't have the total value. It was still in a test mode. And I was working on it even yesterday and something went wrong. And so I have to once again get on the line with the person from our GIS provider to coordinate that and get the current ones on there so that everyone can see their current value. What's on there is current as far as, you know, a lot of the information, but it doesn't show the value the way it should for fiscal 25. And so, yeah, that's when you have 30 days until February 1st to apply. If you feel like your value is not correct, this is when you have the time. So we're assessors and we're assessing everything in according to what's going on in the market. Now we're not going to everyone's house individually. And so it allows us to put on our appraiser hat when you apply for an abatement, and then we can look at your property specifically and hone in on all of the details and make sure that it's accurate. And so an inspection is part of the abatement process. And then if there's anyone that you're comparing yourself to, which is a good thing, don't just say, hey, my value is wrong. Give us a reason why you believe it's wrong. And someone else that you're possibly comparing yourself to that is not necessarily a comparable property, but a similar property, because comparable, it goes down to a lot of detail. So anyway, now is the time, and then that's what we're planning on having our session for, to give people the opportunity to ask questions about their value at this thing that we're going to put on the 15th, while there's still something that we can do about it, as opposed to just having this at any time of year where it's not the right time of year for you to be able to come to us and have the effect. If there is something that results in a lower value, then it's going to reflect on your tax bill. Other times of year, we can't affect your tax bill, but now is the time of year. So yes, we have 30 days, and, you know, we're not encouraging everyone to come in and apply for an abatement. But if you do feel that your value is not correct, this is the time of year that when you have that 30 days, not 30 anymore because it's the 7th. And I believe it goes till the 3rd this year, because the 1st would be a Saturday. So you have until the 3rd, February 3rd, to get an application in, which is available on our website, or if you're feeling overvalued, just call in and talk to us.
Matt did not finish the page that would talk about abatements. So the way to get the abatement form is still the old way. So let me demonstrate for the recorded meeting. You go to the City of Greenfield's website, you can see, maybe you can't see, but
Which
it's
is greenfield-ma.gov.
correct. So here we are, we go to departments, we go to assessor. Once we go there, like I said, it's unfortunately not yet in this list at the top. So the old way of getting it is you go down here on the left to assessors forms and info. And then you go down further to abatement property tax exemption forms. And then near the bottom of this, real property or personal property tax abatement exemption application. You click on that, here it is.
Yeah.
You're not seeing that? Is that in a
Thank
different
you.
tab? Let me share it with you. So it opened in a different tab. And that tab is this here.
We'll try and get that updated so that it's right there, the quick links.
Okay, can you guys see this now? This is the form that popped up.
Yes, that's the form. Most current form. That's what we need returned by February 3rd.
And
Is that digitally manipulatable, or is that
Yeah,
you
Yes,
have
it's
to print it
fillable
out?
form.
So
It
you can
is an
see it's
interactive form that's
fillable.
fillable.
Great, thank you.
aren't the instructions at the end, I think? Yeah,
Yeah, there's all sorts of instructions and
Okay.
information.
good,
In very small print.
only on screen. Okay. New business.
Is there anyone else from the public that'd like to make a comment at this time? Seeing none, I'm gonna make a motion to close public comment.
Okay,
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
It will be reopened toward the end of the meeting in case any questions come up during our deliberations.
Okay, I have another thing. So I had to send out this link to the folks. So Adam, if you could take a note, whatever link that the meeting room technology uses to open and join this meeting is different than the link that is on the city calendar.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Update the void.
Yeah.
Whichever one, as long as they match.
Yes.
So that's been several weeks or several meetings that's happened in a row.
Okay.
Thank you.
okay, new business, excise weeks, where are we?
Oh. We are unprepared.
Okay,
I don't think that there were many
all right,
since it's the time of year.
chapter land. Do we need to do anything there?
Don't know, next time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, again, unprepared.
All right, and French King Highway warrant,
Is that the
or
last
the
time or
vote
something?
on warrant pertaining to the
Yeah,
collection of
this is what,
taxes at 38 French King.
what's 38 French King?
It's
Like to retrieve the warrant from that stuff.
Pardon?
You get a warrant. There's a letter. Would you like me to retrieve it from that stuff?
I guess.
what's it from?
I'll go grab the letter.
Okay,
We need to vote on that? It's like, yes.
yeah, I'm wondering what happened, why we didn't get taxes out of them. What was going on there? Okay.
Yeah, it's a building lot.
Is that the big slug of property?
1.93 acres.
Is that one by the road to Turner's Falls?
French King Highway.
Yeah, the one
Yeah,
between that auto repair Triton and Stop and Shop, is it that one?
I'm not sure, but there's a large property that Stop and Shop pays $1 million.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Okay, so no, that's not 38 French King Highway then.
Okay,
Yeah, and so we've talked about this before. This is a property that has a lease on it.
A lease or a lien?
No, a lease.
Oh,
Yeah, so Stop and Shop somehow has a lease with this property.
oh, okay.
And yeah, so they wanted to build on it or we'd like to have it freed up so that we could do some development for industrial
Yeah.
or what have you. But the guy's got $1 million, gets $1 million a year from Stop and Shop.
We're
Yeah.
doing nothing.
That's-
I
that's
guess
that
I'm
one.
saying a lot of, yeah, okay. And so, this was brought up last year. And we talked to the mayor, so yeah, we got a copy of the lease. And when we analyze the value that we have on there, it's pretty good compared to what the market, bears for that type of property. But it has a lease on it, and so there's income, and we could have increased the value a little bit more. Well, it's a risk reward, How much do we want to increase the value of this property before we're gonna have someone applying for an abatement on it? And so certainly because they know that there's a lease there might be some room to move on that value, but it's whatever we do, then we need to be cautious and make sure, and it's nothing that we can do at this point for this fiscal year. But it was discussed the last fiscal year and we decided to leave it alone, or we never, came to a conclusion on what amount of value we would place on it because of that lease.
I think, I'm wondering whether we shouldn't look at the income and expense and value it appropriately, by market. And because this property has been a contentious issue for a variety of reasons, if they want to file for an abatement, that's fine. I mean, that's public record stuff. So, let the chips fall where they may. But But having said that, we've got to be solid on whatever number we come up with. it's
According to the
substantially
GIS,
different.
it's not the one I was thinking of. So I'll share this.
Yeah, I'm looking at it myself. That's what I did on the GIS. So it's some other property. And it's 1.95 acres. Michael P. O'Brien is the owner.
Okay, so here you can see,
That yellow box.
yeah, so the one I was thinking of is, I think it's one of these over here. This must be Triton. But it was over here, but this is different. This is near the kidney thing. It's on the other side of the road.
Oh, well,
The
that,
kidney
that's in the
thing's over
industrial
here.
park.
Wow.
And I thought the one
Oh, this is the kidney thing here.
kidney thing.
You know, it's up at Wildwood.
Is
It's for-
that Wildwood?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought it was further up the road from,
you thought it was the place with the sheds?
no. I thought it was further up.
Further south.
Well, where's Stop and Shop? Stop and Shop is
Here.
38?
Here.
Oh, okay.
There's
So
Stop
then
and
I
Shop.
thought it was further up. But I'm probably mistaken.
Yeah, anyway. So,
So I don't know, that made it on the agenda, so someone wanted it on there. And he's, hopefully he'll give us some additional information with the info he brings back.
Okay. All right, should we, Well, I guess
In the
we'll-
office, I guess.
well,
he's not here to take minutes, so we
Yeah.
should do that.
Okay.
I thought it was north of King Road. Yeah,
Up here?
yeah, like 53. I mean, 3 acres.
This thing?
Yeah. Who's it owned by?
70 to 76 French King LLC.
Oh,
So
I think that may be it.
it's one of those LLCs who it takes a bit of effort to find out who owns it.
Well, along those lines, this, I sent a note out about this web scraping that this guy has been doing on the registry, the land, the registry of deeds. And it occurred to me while I was watching his demo that he could do web scraping of the Secretary of State's site to identify all these LLCs and the owners.
There's already you can do that already. There's,
But you do it one by one, but this would be an automated way of just going out there and specifying the LLC. It would look it up and it would do multiple lookups and then format the thing as a table. Okay, well. All right.
Yeah, the Warren Group, you ever hear of the Warren Group?
Yeah,
Yeah, and they do a lot of, or they're, basically exploiting the public records data
mhm,
and have all sorts of analysis stuff that they do too.
yeah.
It
that's a
sounds
good
like
idea.
he's trying to do the same thing on an individual basis. Maybe you'd be better off looking into the Warren Group and see what they could provide and how much it would cost.
Sure.
The LLC thing is on a different level, and I don't know if they would have that.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah, Warren, doesn't it, they do real estate of one
Yes.
sort or another. I'm not sure. What
a
they,
thing called Banker and Tradesman, that's their publication.
oh, that's theirs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sort of the publication of record, at least in the Boston area for all those transactions.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right.
go and bring up the property card for this 38.
if you want, you can see the bogus property cards that are on there right now. And how it says test,
Yeah, mine said test. I look at
Yeah.
mine.
and so it's wrong, and it's supposed to have a different thing on there, and it does, I'm not even sure if the value, I didn't check to see if the value is accurate for what it's saying for 25, but it's not displaying in the upper portion of the card like it's supposed to.
What do we
And
send?
I thought I had that fixed. See, there's
This
nothing up.
38 thing.
Yeah, there's nothing up in the in-process appraisal summary.
Yeah, that's what mine looked like. It
It's
was
saying,
just
yeah,
blank
this
up
test
there.
value. I'm not sure if that's the accurate value. See, because it's showing the value from fiscal 24, value, final value.
Which differs from,
Which is definitely different from what the value should be for this fiscal
which
year.
is up here, right?
Which is up. where-
Under the box that says stuff.
It's supposed to be in that top where it's all blank.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm
it
saying.
says
is that-
7,900 under that box. I'm sorry, you can't see it.
It's not-
Well, it's just
That's probably
being
close to
priced
what
on
you
land
want it to
value,
be.
but
Oh, 70 thing, yeah, okay, for the total. Yeah, okay, and that's probably accurate.
that's the land value, right?
What's the 119.9?
It says, use land is 0. Assess 7,900. Oh, is that Adam?
It
Hey,
is.
it's Adam. The crinkled up letter.
Mhm. Looks like it was hard to find, huh?
I did eventually find it.
Yeah, glad you did. All right.
So what are we being asked to do here?
Good question.
Board to vote on warrant pertaining to the collection of taxes.
Oh, this is an omitted bill. So the value, it's got more value on there. It appears to, that's what this is. It's a warrant for an omitted value. Because the two had started at 70,900, but now the value is 197,300.
I remember this one.
Yeah, and so this is just an omitted bill
Oh, okay,
that we need to sign off on.
okay.
Okay, so we don't need to vote on it.
No,
Incorrect agenda preparation on my end.
Okay.
Sure.
Speaking of that, before you guys came in,
This is the new
Kathy.
construction. It's a new house being built on there.
Correct, that's the new house for the that exempt that we picked up.
Yeah.
for the what?
Just
Oh, okay,
remembering what it was.
Kathy and Quinn came in to talk about open meeting law,
Mhm.
but they were unable to because it's not on our agenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We're on the next one.
That's poetic, huh? I will make sure to adhere. Quinn forwarded me the open meeting law. I think I'll read it.
that's probably a good idea.
Right.
Well,
Sorry.
part of why she's coming to the
My
meeting
apologies.
too, to school us on it.
Hey, Adam, we know. Yeah.
Okay, so
Everything is forgiven.
do we need to vote on rendering a new bill?
Yeah, it's something that, yeah, we just.
They can do it and then bring it to us and we'll sign it, just like everything.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's just the paperwork that needs to be signed.
Oh, okay, so, well,
Nothing that needs to be voted on. It's something that we're gonna do because it's a new house. At
Yeah.
the start of the year, it's just a lot.
okay,
Let's do it.
There's
so,
no construction on it, so.
all right, great, I'll sign off.
We never did get those stamps.
Yeah. Oh, we not personally, but they have them in the office for all three of us.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll bring it next time.
Okay.
No, for the three of us, it's only
Oh, yeah,
just you
two.
and I.
Yeah.
We never had it redone.
oh,
After
Just
the bill
yeah,
left the
yeah.
board.
that's right.
They're just gifts.
Okay. So on to old business. How are we doing in the assessor's office operations? Status of exemptions?
Exemptions, I don't even know if we have any prepared for today. Yeah, and so we still are, trying to get our feet under us. Office wise, because of,
The Devon leave
well, and because of, yeah,
problems with Munis.
and problems with Munis and the collector's office, with everyone being gone, it's just a disaster and nobody knows what they're doing. And I'm doing more than my fair share. And it's still not working. And so after, and I want Kelly back.
You want Kelly back?
Yes, I do.
Okay, RRG report.
He,
What are they up to?
they're helping where they can. We are gonna have a change in personnel. So, David will not be coming into the office anymore. There's gonna be someone else. It might even be Harold that will be fulfilling that role.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's stepping away for personal reasons. It might be just a leave of absence, or it might be longer.
Mhm.
We're not sure. And so in the meantime, he's helping out where he can, and his last day will be, sometime next week, I think, or the week after.
Okay.
We have I did get one emailed application for abatement. I'm not sure if we received any others.
We did, they're filed on the, next to the window,
And how many do we have?
6.
6, okay, so 7 total so far. And now is the time. Again, trying to get the property record cards updated. Got them all on there and updated from the previous year, and then realized that I picked the wrong print date as of, and it still is in the test mode. And that's why we're seeing that, but I do have all the PDFs recreated, and I'm trying to get it back on the website. I'll be talking to CAI Tech later today, and hopefully that'll be done. And then we can have everybody's current property record card with the information displayed the way it should. I mean, it is their current record card that's there, but it's still in that funky test mode, and everything isn't printing out as far as the value goes. All the other stuff, the information should be accurate as far as the details of the house and sketches and conditional elements and what things are made of and year built and all that.
Okay.
And then we went through the internal posting and are now publicly posting for another clerk.
Oh, good.
And I've gotten some applications already. Unfortunately, no one with any experience. I'm not sure. I want to hold out at least for a little while to see if anyone that has any experience is going to apply.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I also want to fill the position as soon as possible. So, I'm looking for, I'm trying to widen my horizons as far as what I'm considering qualifications
Mhm.
for the position. And so, hopefully we can get another good person and train them well and keep them.
Hope so. By the way, yeah, I sent out an email about the spreadsheet that I did, and I'm going to be talking to Harold, I think, on Thursday and showing him the spreadsheet, just to,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I talked to Harold, I guess, as far as RNG goes, and he was the one that was informing me, even though David was in the office, about the different things, and he also started talking about having a conversation about, the fact that our contract is expiring with them. And so that's one of the next things that we're going to be concentrating on is budget. And so, getting things in place, making sure that we've got, things configured the way we want, or at least all our bases covered. I was happy so far with what I've seen from our C
Mhm.
and the personal property, and I think I want to continue that relationship with them. And so that we had gotten a quote a couple different ways, or at least one way. I'll get a refreshed quote from them for what their services would cost for the next fiscal year. And just anything else.
Can we go to the next agenda topic?
Evaluation, capture, new growth. Yeah.
Yeah, so just to interpret the agenda here. Of the 6 items, the last 4 are all the same. In terms of the first 2, discuss efforts to improve the personal property database. I think that's old, that's already done.
Okay, I remove that, strike that.
Randy concur,
Yeah,
okay? And then discuss forwarding lists of new businesses to the clerk's office.
And that was gonna be part of our discussion
It's RRC.
with Kathy.
Oh, it's Kathy. Okay.
Open meeting.
So we can keep that one on for next time.
Mhm.
And then these last four, they're all the same. It's all about this project. So the overarching thing is, as we talked last year, we just want to do a better job of valuing the multifamily residential units in Greenfield. Because many people have told us, we have many tips that, the configuration of the buildings is not what it said it is, and the income, the I&E, but just the income part of the I&Es are incorrect. And so that's been the hypothesis or the suggestion or the reports. So we were talking in general about it would be great if we could do something about that. And then we were blessed that Susan did this grant and got this money to have a person go to every single multifamily and not do a proper appraisal, but to just collect a little bit of obvious information.
Number of electric.
Well, so let me share again, just to be clear for the recording. And we looked at this document last time, but let me just put it up again. So here it is. And you can see the goal of the grant is for these four type of land use codes: 2 families, 3 families, 4 to 8, and multiple houses. Essentially, most types of residential multifamilies, not including the larger apartment buildings. They want to know how many units there are, so verify, because nominally that's in our database, but they want to do an on-the-street verification of how many units are in each of these buildings. Check whether they're owner occupied to the extent they can by looking at names on mailboxes, and documenting the unit designations for each unit, which is not something that's in our database.
Mhm.
And they want to provide tenants' rights information in the form of a flyer from a tenants' rights organization. So their plan on how to do that is they're paying a person who's a young person to go to each of these buildings, to put the flyers not in the box, but clipped to the box. Hopefully to visit all approximately 3,000 multifamily units or 1,000 multifamily properties, starting in February and going for 4 months. Then the next step for that is, how could this help us? And I suggested that it would be great if we could get additional information, what floor each apartment is on, because that helps match to our database. If any of the apartments are accessible, that's not really for us, maybe a little bit, but
That's
for the city,
handicapped accessible.
yeah. The number of dedicated parking spaces, I think you're interested from both zoning and parking commission stuff. And the number of electric meters, which is another way of validating how many units are really there. So we would want a survey of just what are the unit designations, how many bedrooms. And then I thought helping for our income, monthly rent would be key. If we had renters reporting their monthly rent, we could compare those against the income reports from the landlord, as well as the number of units reports from the landlord. And then we could get more accurate numbers for our database. And if the numbers were greater than what we have in our database, then that could be counted as new growth,
Mhm.
which would be very helpful to the city. And potentially that would allow the city to have a higher tax
Mhm.
because of the new growth, and it would nominally lower residents' tax bills because of the additional tax that these multifamilies would have to pay because of the higher level of income would change their valuation. So that is the overall goal here. is to lower residential taxes. Lower residential taxes because overall valuation in the city would go up. It's a higher valuation from these multifamilies who would then end up paying more. That would be a larger share, so residents would pay less.
So tenants would pay more.
Well, that's
That's a question.
That's
life.
the property owners should pay their fair share.
Agree.
They're already,
If they disclose this information, it shouldn't mean that they have to pay more.
well, if the disclosure matches what the tenants are reporting, then of
Well,
course
if the
they would
value
pay
goes
more.
up, then the landlord's gonna pass that along to the tenants and their rents will go up.
Well, that may be true. But in any case, it's our job to get our database correct. As are charged by the state. There have been a lot of people telling us it's wrong. This would be a good way to do it. And if we did get it correct, then other residents' taxes would go down, which would be a good thing.
A question about the tenants' rights organization, and maybe Susan can say more about that. I mean, who has organized this, under what auspices and all this?
She'll say all that. Just let me get through
Okay.
this document. That's exactly
I
what
thought
she's
we
going to
did.
talk about. So we would like to get these survey things and the activity here has requested if the assessor's office could provide a spreadsheet that not only had the nominal land use code, parcel ID and address, which is in the publicly available information already, but to provide additional columns of the number of units, number of bedrooms for each unit, and the database's estimate as to whether they're owner occupied. Randy, I believe you said last time that might require a public records request to release that additional information. But that was the request. Okay, so Susan, you want to talk about the high level issues before I show the next step on this, which it relates to the actual surveys?
Sure. This came from Housing Greenfield. We wanted to, there is no tenant organizing at all in Greenfield at this time. And we don't expect to start that. So let me be very clear on that. On the other hand, we have a lot of tenants who are living in relative isolation from other tenants, and that they're in smaller buildings and may not have any knowledge of what their rights are, whether their landlord can raise their rent anytime they want, or whether there's a specific time they're supposed to raise that rent, for instance. So what we wanted to do is provide them with a link to information and a phone number that they could call and say, I want to ask this question. And we now have a relationship with Neighbor to Neighbor, which is a tenants' right organization that's statewide. And they have offices in Holyoke. And they have agreed that they will be happy to answer any questions that are phoned in or are sent in by email. So we have that information and we'll use that. And then we also have a link to a general information on tenants and tenant law from the Mass Legal Help. And that will be on the leaflet as well.
Cool. Thanks, Susan. So the organization is Neighbor to Neighbor out of Holyoke.
That's correct.
All right. So the next step on this, if you recall last time, I was suggesting that we could get this information that we want, namely the monthly rent and verification of units and bedrooms. Short survey that we could put in the mailbox or next to the mailbox with the flyer, and people could send back a business reply mail postcard without postage, and we could get that information. Unfortunately, we don't have budget to provide business reply mail. And I did a little online research as to just the process of getting to do business reply mail, because I was considering making a donation to Neighbor, whereas they could fund the postcards. Because it turns out it's not very expensive. It would cost Copycat here in town to make 3,000 postcards. It would cost them around $217. It's very reasonable. The business reply mail if 1,000 of them were returned, would be on the order of $1,500. That's a little bit more substantial. But in any case, we don't have the budget for either of those things. And I looked into, could I just donate the money to neighbor so they could do it? They weren't interested, and
They were not interested?
no, and in any case, the process of doing business reply mail is complex. The post office has a variety of forms and steps and permits and approvals. And me not being a business, and really that it's the city that wants to do this, I didn't think it would be trivial to go through an ability to do that. So instead, even though it's not as optimal, there is a free service that Google provides where anyone can go to a link and fill out a survey and give us whatever information. It's called Google Forms. So I looked into that and did that, and I want to show you that. So this would be the survey that the idea would be, so I've created a QR code for this location, and Susan is going to put it on the flyer. So if a person uses their phone to take a snap of that QR code, their phone will bring up this survey.
Mhm.
So you can see the first thing is the survey has a little intro, basically telling people that they don't have to do it. It's entirely optional, and just that it will help the city better understand housing needs of the residents and how we can help. And we don't want their name, and we will not inform their landlord of their participation. So that's important.
Mhm.
All we're asking, as we said before, their mailing address, and I broke it up. So for ease of our data manipulation, street number, street name, street suffix, and then this is key, the unit number, which is the thing we don't have.
Mhm.
Then the number of bedrooms, so we can check against our database for each unit, how many bedrooms there are. And then again, the key thing for us for valuation is what is their rent. So that's the only thing that is the survey.
You know, a big factor in rent is, are you paying utilities? Yes or no?
Oh, I should add that to this?
Yep.
Okay,
Just a thought. You know, if you're gonna have accurate data.
like I could put a checkbox on here.
Includes.
Does it include utilities?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
That's gonna be a significant factor. That could make, $100, hundreds of dollars difference, what they're paying.
Cool, will do. That's easy.
In addition to utilities, there may be some other extras that they pay. Should we just say, and on the utilities, that's a checkbox. But
Additional expenses or something.
additional expenses, yeah, just write it in so we have an idea of that.
Oh,
I really don't want to complicate it if it's not going to be super helpful.
Okay.
But Stephanie raised her hand.
okay, I don't know if she has to wait until.
Until a couple of public comment. So I would love to hear what she has to say right now.
Well, how are we, with this topic?
Well, again, so I just wanted to let you know that the idea then is on this tenants right thing. There'd be the QR, they would do it, fill out the survey, that'll come to a spreadsheet that I have. And then I could benevolently donate that spreadsheet as a tip to the assessor's office.
I would, just look for Matt's input too and see if he has anything to, add us or take away, or you can't do that because, I don't see any problem with it. I don't see any reason why there wouldn't be.
Well,
And
this
I
is
think
just
this
me
is
as a,
better, yeah, I think this is a better, idea than
This is
the card.
well, and this is just me doing this. It's
Yeah, so
not
this costs a lot less money than this.
zero.
But it's still,
It's zero.
we still could get the information though, so, yeah.
As long as people do it.
Yeah,
Okay, so I just want to show you that. And then,
Stephanie,
well, I'm sorry, so that was the end of that. So if we have to wait for Stephanie. Let's get through the rest of the agenda and then we can let Stephanie give her comment.
And what do we have left?
Council
Just,
relations?
Yeah, so are we still having in mind that we're gonna be able to present to Ways and Means at some point about improving the exemptions we offer to our residents up to the maximum that the state allows, given that it will not have a material effect on our overlay?
Yeah, we should probably, try and get on a future agenda.
And as said before, I already have that material prepared.
Yeah, okay. And so then now it's not a bad idea. The next Ways and Means, or just we can inform them that we're looking to attend and then see when they schedule us.
The September and October,
That's
that's just.
not right
That's a
anymore.
carry.
Right, but not only do I have it prepared, but we've already reviewed and updated that material.
Okay. So all we need to do is get on the.
On the
Ways and
agenda.
Means agenda.
That's all we need.
Okay.
And so then educational outreach is our next item.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Adam, can you try and get us on the agenda, Ways and Means agenda? Thank you, sir. Okay. Educational outreach, the 15th, a week from tomorrow,
Right.
Assessors Night.
You of what content to add and adjust on them. Okay.
Oh, and then the webpage.
Hmm.
So as we discussed, Matt still hasn't caught up to all of our goals for the webpage, such as the abatement page.
Yeah, and we're not hosting a GCC course that's old. The Assessors Night is the one that's live.
Okay,
So that's already been scheduled and that's gonna happen.
I move we reopen public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Stephanie. Sorry
Thank
for
you
making you
letting me
wait.
speak again. Is that, can you hear me okay? I actually have you on my speaker.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to, I know that we've been having difficulty with trying to get information about utility stuff from Eversource. Given the time of winter, I'm wondering if we could reach out to maybe the fuel assistance people, because a lot of the information that you want from the tenants themselves, they're all over the applications for fuel assistance. It does ask, how much are you paying for rent? Do you pay for utility separate? Do you pay for your own gas? Is that provided? So a lot of that information that the person that is going out and trying to gather up unit information may already be available to them through FCAC if those folks are applying for fuel assistance or something like that. There are a lot of different sources that you could get that information if Eversource or the utility companies are giving them difficult.
Sorry, Stephanie, that SCAC though, that's run by Eversource, right?
No,
They're not
gonna
no,
give
it's
us-
the Franklin
Who already shut us
Community
down?
Action Corporation. Franklin Community Action is where they work to get lower rates and pay those bills through that program. They offer them fuel assistance money, but Eversource is not in charge of that. Eversource is just a recipient of the funds that FCAC allocates.
You're saying, but FCAC collects the info?
Yes, they do. It is a whole entire sheet, whether or not it's a recertification or a new application for fuel assistance or any other assistance programs that help you pay those types of bills. They gather all of that information. How much are you paying in rent, whether or not it's landlord occupied, whether or not it's your mortgage or in an apartment. But a lot of that information that may help you would be available through another public agency, through Franklin County Community Action, who does provide the fuel assistance to the folks.
So for the few people who apply for fuel assistance, maybe FCAC would give us that info if it's not, if they're allowed to.
Yeah, I serve on a board with the guy who I think is in charge of the program, so I'll reach out to him and see what we can do.
Okay, Jim. Susan, you had a comment? Susan?
Just that I'm not sure that that would be public information. And so I think that, yeah, you may be able to get aggregate information, but I'm not sure that some of it is going to be public just because it's individuals applying themselves for a service, but it's worth asking. certainly worth asking.
Okay, any further public comments?
Given, can you get information that's not tenant specific from the Greenfield Housing Authority as well, Susan? I'm sorry, I'm cross-talking on the meeting. I'm just one, just trying to throw some
It's
information
cool.
out there that, but, I know when I worked for the housing, authorities, we had to gather that information in order to do the comp studies, the rent comp studies, in order to calculate that for HUD. So I believe that it's probably aggregated somewhere, but maybe not tenant specific. But there's,
Yeah,
but,
I think it's worth asking and checking. I think it's worth
yeah,
asking.
and definitely, going maybe through for COG and the fire department and the health department, because they also have unit listings as well for their safety. So
I
just
don't,
some
I don't
ideas
think health
to think of.
department has anything. And the
Uh,
fire department, I don't
I'm
think
sure-
is
I'm sure they
allowed to
do.
share, but
But there's
they.
probably other entities that do fuel assistance.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
if we're not tenant specific and we're just looking for units and rent amount, I think the information can be gathered as long as you're not violating the rights of the person that is actually in the unit. So I believe that you have to have some sort of unit designation through the health department. So it definitely would be worth the look. I mean, when I spoke with Jennifer Hoffman last time, when we were working on some stuff, she did mention that they do have a list of that for inspection purposes. So it might just be worth a shot to take a look at that.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, to my understanding, our health department did not have a database of any kind. In fact, we really didn't have a health department for quite some time.
Well, now we do, so I
Yeah,
guess we
maybe.
can get a
It's
hold
worth
of.
asking.
Okay, you want to do that, or Susan, will you do that, or who's going to get it done?
Can ask the health department if they have a list of units. We can do that.
You'll do it?
Sure.
Yeah, if I can just make a comment, one of the things we find is that we've got a lot of different lists and none of them talk to each other. So part of the reason that we started this project was to try to verify some of the information as best we could, and then to work to develop a common database which everybody would have, which would have all of this information. So I think it's certainly worth talking to them and figuring out where they are at this point. I just don't know. But that was my understanding. So
All right.
it's worth a discussion for sure.
Well, I have emailed that guy before, the new guy.
Michael, yeah.
Yeah, Michael. So I'll send him a note,
Okay,
see if he's got anything.
yeah, but the Greenfield Housing Authority, I mean, it seems to me all we really want is address, unit number, utilities included, rent, and address. I mean, we're not looking for anything beyond that, are we?
You would be looking for that information, and it would be from their Section 8 and MRVP clients. It would not be from the housing authority buildings themselves, and that you should be clear on.
Yeah, oh, okay. But the core information that I just mentioned is really what we're after. And wherever we can get it, we get it. Got it. Okay. I think that's it.
So did we close public comment?
No,
Or I'll make a motion to close public comment.
okay.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye, okay. Public comment is closed.
And then I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
second,
Sure, no executive session.
Yeah, we don't have anything prepared for executive session.
Okay. So moved.
All right.
And meeting's over at 10:34.
Okay, thanks for attending.
Thank you.